Starting a new business can be so scary. When we decided to launch our self-defense brand, Clutch Defense, all those what-ifs hit us. What if nobody buys it? What if we mess it up? What if we can't figure out the tech side of running an online store? Well, that's where Shopify comes in. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the United States. It makes building a store super easy with ready-to-use templates, built-in tools to create email and social campaigns, and everything you need in one place, from inventory to payments to analytics. And that iconic Shop Pay button, that's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet, meaning fewer abandoned carts and more sales. So it's time to turn those what ifs into with Shopify today. Sign up for $1 per month trial. Go to shopify.com/wifeofcrime1. That's shopify.com/wifeofcrime1.
You've been there, settling in for an evening of TV only to waste half the night scrolling. Enter Fire TV, entertainment with zero effort required. Fire TV serves up personalized recommendations from across all your apps. Not sure what to watch? Just tell Alexa Plus what you're in the mood for and she'll pull up the perfect recommendation. Problem solved. Stop the scroll, start the show. Find what you're looking for with Fire TV. Subscriptions may be required.
Kayak gets my flight, hotel, and rental car right, so I can tune out travel advice that's just plain wrong.
Bro, Skycoin. Way better than points.
Never fly during a Scorpio full moon.
Just tell the manager you'll sue. Instant room upgrade.
Stop taking bad travel advice. Start comparing hundreds of sites with Kayak and get your trip right. Kayak. Got that right.
This podcast is an unscripted, unedited conversation about true crime. We take the cases very seriously, but I don't take myself seriously at all, and neither should you. Welcome to Wife of Crime.
So, Russ. A woman gets a phone call at the gym, and police tell her she needs to come straight home right away. When she gets there, her entire house is a crime scene, and the cops tell her that her husband is dead. But this story is nothing like it seems. It's full of twists and turns that you'd never expect. This is the case of Mike and Dalia Dipolitto. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Wife of Crime, a true crime podcast where I tell my husband, Russ, true crime stories and he reacts to them.
What's up, folks? It's your boy Russ, a.k.a. I got my whiskey, a.k.a. my husband Russ, a.k.a. I still can't find any good food in this damn town.
Oh, you found a couple today on Instagram.
They look good, but I got to try Baltimore, man. Your food is trash.
Well, Russ, first of all, you're comparing food to New York food. Nothing compares to New York food. And you have to understand that. Anywhere you go in the entire United States, New York is going to have the best food because they have food from everywhere.
Speaking of food, that reminds me of your Instagram story.
What Instagram story?
Where the guy was eating a human leg.
Oh, that was a reel I did.
Yeah, the reel.
Oh, my God.
So,
I cannot even imagine.
So basically, there was a train crash where a guy got ran over by an Amtrak train. Mm-hmm. This homeless guy, was he homeless?
I don't know if he was homeless. I think he probably was.
But
if
everyone
he was homeless
knew him.
And probably had some mental health issues.
Yeah, so then some workers saw a random man walking down the street with an entire leg.
Yes.
And eating it. And it was workers. And my first thought was, man, white people are taking another L.
He wasn't white.
But he wasn't white. I was like, finally, we're not the ones.
You would have expected somebody walking down the street with a human leg eating it to be a white person?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. No,
Definitely.
He wasn't white. I think he was Hispanic. Well, I can't imagine seeing that. But the guy ended up only serving a year in jail because he really didn't commit a crime necessarily. He took evidence from the scene of a possible crime. So he served 1 year in jail, and now he's out because this happened in March of 2024.
Someone, if you know him,
So
can we get a call?
He's out living life.
Yo, I'll pay him for an interview. So today is the anniversary of that guy who killed his daughter in the courtroom. You posted
No,
it
that's
today?
not the case at all. Today is the anniversary of Jody Plauché's father, Gary Plauché, killing Jody Plauché's molester.
Oh, so it wasn't a murderer, it was a molester.
I told you this case a long time ago.
Yeah, I remember. I just didn't remember the names or the crime, but I remember that the dad shot.
You don't remember any details at all.
No, I remember the dad shot someone in court that did something bad to his child.
It wasn't in court. It was at the airport.
But he was by the payphones.
At the airport.
That looks like...
Not in court.
Oh, because in the Bronx, in the courtrooms back in the day, they would have the phones lined up like that.
Oh.
In the Bronx, in the courtroom. So that's what I thought.
The story is Jody Plauché was molested by his karate instructor, and his dad, Gary, found out. And they went and arrested his karate instructor and brought him back to the state where he was molested in. And Gary was at the airport waiting for the cop who had him handcuffed and was walking him through the airport and shot him in the head.
Yeah. So what that made me think was, I was like, you should be allowed to do that. We're allowed to buy all these guns.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't shoot someone who molests your kid, who are you allowed to shoot? Why are you allowed to have all these damn guns?
Okay.
But...
Okay, go ahead.
That's just like one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are the guns for then? Duh. Shoot child molesters.
Okay.
But anyone who commits a crime like that kills someone that killed their mom or like something like that, someone molested your child and you went and killed the guy who did it.
Or someone who murdered your family member and you go and murder
and you went
them.
and killed that person.
Uh-huh.
In a situation like this, mainly with children, I think he should be let off with like a temporary insanity plea. Because if he has a clean record previously and he doesn't kill people.
Yeah, he's just like a regular dude.
This obviously drove him insane enough to kill that person. So to me, you did something way out of character.
Mm-hmm.
And that has to be, there should be some room for that. Like Cain Velasquez. He shot up the car.
Mm-hmm.
But he also put so many other people in danger with his actions, so I understand why the judge had to give him the little bit of time he could.
Well, Gary Plauché's case, he ended up getting off.
He did?
Yeah.
I heard this. Oh,
you should go back. Okay, our episode was in 2024. Can you please go back and listen to the episode?
Yo.
You have no idea what I told you.
Listen, a lot has changed since 2024. I bumped my head.
No, you did that in 2023. This
Wait.
was post-accident, okay?
What year is it?
We were like... You have no concept of time.
No, I don't pay attention to time at all.
It's wild.
How do
you live like this?
You don't look.
You don't pay any attention to time. Do you know what month it is?
It might be the beginning of March, but it might be the end of February. No, February passed. I remember people saying, like, for a short month, they shouldn't have to pay the same amount of rent.
So it's March 17th. It's St. Patrick's Day.
Today?
Yes!
If you're not in the Bronx and seeing all these bars outside, you don't know it's St. Patty's Day.
So it's St. Patty's Day. It's March. It is 2026.
Wow. I feel like I just took a time machine here.
This is not, you're not even, the craziest thing is, people don't realize, you're not even putting this on for the podcast.
No.
This is legitimately how he lives. Sometimes I'm astounded at the fact that he has no idea what day of the week it is.
Well, if you're not working.
True, you're not working now, so that makes sense. But you were like this before. Okay, let's not get it twisted. Prior to 2023, June 17th, 2023, when you got injured, you still had no concept of time. I don't really know how you were responsible at jobs.
I'm always on time.
You are. You're
I don't
always
do late. I hate late.
You're always on time. So how do you have no concept of time outside of being to work on time?
Because I got to get paid.
True. You're a money motivated guy.
Yeah, you don't want to be a bum. That reminds me of our episode we just did. What was it called? Bum with a.
Yeah, we named it Bum with a Phone. So
Bum with the phone.
On Patreon. For our True Crime and Chill this month, we covered the TikTok killer. And we gave it a chance. I typically don't like dubbed over movies or documentaries because I either want to read subtitles and hear their real voices or watch it in English. But watching a dubbed over one where the words don't match, I don't like it usually. But we ended up watching this one. It's a documentary out of Spain, and the story is insane. And we named it Bum with a Phone. And if you go listen to our episode on Patreon, you'll definitely know why.
Yeah. I hated that fucking bum. His teeth look like the outline of him looked like a New York City skyline.
Yeah, he had the worst teeth.
Only one tower in the middle.
His teeth were terrible, and Russ roasted his teeth the entire time. So for the Patreon for this month, the end of March, Netflix is releasing season 2 of Homicide New York. It's going to be 5 or 6 episodes. A couple years ago, we did season 1 of Homicide New York. We covered each episode separately. So that's what we're going to be doing at the end of the month for Patreon. So you guys are going to get 5 or 6, however many there are in the season, bonus episodes.
Wow.
So Russ is going to be working overtime again.
Yeah, I just found that out with you guys. She may have told me before, but I probably just yesed her to death.
I definitely told you already.
The problem is you say so much stuff, I can't listen to it all because, like, you basically think out loud to me.
I do.
So I can't keep track of all that.
I do have, like, a running stream of consciousness, I would say.
Yeah, like, yeah.
I mean, honestly, the voice that's in my head all the time, this is what it's saying. I just constantly tell you the voice in my head. What it's telling me, it just comes right out and tells you.
You never think, shut up?
Oh, yeah, all the time. I do. I tell myself to shut up all the time, but I can't stop it.
How about if you sing a song, like, you like in your head, then
That's
it
a big
could go
problem
away.
for me. So if I sing a song, sometimes I'll get it stuck in my head for weeks. Have you ever had songs get stuck in my head for very long periods of time?
You know what? Next time you annoy me, I'm going to run a song in this house 100 times in a row.
Real quick, one thing we used to do to my dad growing up, because my dad is the same way. He has ADHD. So when you sing a song around him, it's guaranteed, like 10 minutes later, he'll start singing the song. And he doesn't even have to know the words to the song. He just will start singing it. And so when we were kids, me and my brother and my mom, we used to laugh behind his back because we would sing a song and then we'd wait and we would tell each other we were going to do it. And then we wait 5 minutes and then all of a sudden he's sitting in his recliner and he starts singing the song.
Oh, man, that would be some good Instagram videos.
And we would die laughing. We did it for years. It's so funny.
Did you ever try to see if he'll sing really weird ones?
We usually would do classic rock ones because that's what he listens to, and so I knew he would.
Is it what if you tried Baby Got Back or something? Something ridiculous?
He might.
How ridiculous can you get this song to be?
We're gonna have to try it.
Yeah, sing, do the YMCA. Just do if you could get him to do the Macarena.
Oh yeah, that would be funny. Yeah. So that's what's coming up on Patreon, and Russ has the patrons shout outs.
All right, folks. So these are the people that joined this week. It's Jennifer, Zachary, Andy, Nicole, Katrina, Angie, Melissa, Stephanie, Dakota, Angela, Jennifer, Danny, Tina, Diana, Katie, Krishna, I think that's it. Nikki, Jordan, Christina, and Kathleen.
Oh.
Cheers to you guys. I got I think I got Makers today on the rocks.
Yes, you do. And I have a peach White Claw. Cheers, everyone.
Okay, so as you guys know, I do review of the week every week. It's been going strong as long as my memory works.
And I'm going to stop you right there because this week you're not doing review of the week.
Why?
Because I'm doing review of the week.
You said it like you were a fucking evil villain, and the way you looked at me.
Because I got a really good review, and I want to talk about it.
Oh, good for you. You finally got your little review.
It's called Jess by Joanne Ray. Shout out to you, Joanne.
President of the Jess fan club.
What can I say? Jess is a great storyteller. She's so smart, talented, funny. Such a hard worker and writes the stories so well. Found this podcast a few months ago and have been listening to all their episodes since. I love how Jess always keeps the audience engaged and wanting more. Russ is funny too, I guess. That's it. 5 stars. Thank you, Joanne.
That's funny.
I had to read it in a
Joanne is definitely your mom.
Imagine Joanne is my mom. You know what this reminded me of? Have you seen on the TikTok or the Reels where, and it's funny, I'm so old, I just called it the TikTok or the Reels.
Ew.
Have you seen those where
We don't edit, but I would take that shit out.
Yeah,
That's embarrassing.
have you seen where it has people who post like a reel of themselves and it says like, I have 2 likes on my reel, but then I have my mom and it's like Shia LaBeouf standing up clapping super hard?
Nah, I never seen that.
That's gonna, well, somebody saw it.
Well, it's gonna bomb.
Yeah.
This is how comedians feel when they bomb.
Somebody saw it.
You look so like,
Thank you so much, Joanne. I really appreciate it. So I hijacked your review of the week this week.
That's all right.
Okay. So this case I've been so excited to tell you about. This is a really big one. Like, this one's pretty well known and famous. There's a lot out about it, but I just feel like this case is something we have to cover. It's very on brand for us.
Do you think I know it?
No, I don't think you know it. And even if you did come across it, clearly you wouldn't remember it.
That's probably true.
One thing I've noticed, and it's also something that I do myself, is the word narcissist gets thrown around constantly. It's become one of those labels people use for anyone who is being a little selfish, a little arrogant, or just generally annoying to deal with.
That explains why the first time I've ever been called that or learned what that word was when you called me that.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Someone posts too many selfies online and suddenly they're a narcissist. Someone cheats on their partner and that word immediately comes out. But real narcissism is actually something much more complex. In psychology, narcissism exists on a spectrum. At the mild end, it can describe someone who craves attention or validation a little more than the average person. But when those traits become more extreme, they begin to shape the way someone sees the entire world. People with strong narcissistic tendencies struggle with empathy. They have a hard time genuinely understanding how their actions affect other people. And even when they do understand it, they don't really seem to care at all. It doesn't hold much weight for them. If you've ever dealt with someone like that in your life, you probably know the feeling I'm talking about. It can be incredibly confusing. Conversations start to revolve around them. Conflicts somehow become your fault, even when they started it. And over time, you might start to notice something else too. That some of their emotional reactions feel exaggerated, bigger than they should be. Almost like you're watching someone perform the emotion instead of experiencing it. And that's one of the strangest things about dealing with a true narcissistic personality. They have a way of making you question your own instincts. You start wondering if what you're seeing is genuine or if you're watching a performance. And sometimes that question, whether something is genuine or a performance, doesn't show up in a small everyday interaction. Sometimes it appears in moments that are supposed to be raw and devastating. The kinds of moments where no one would ever expect someone to be putting on an act. This is the case of Mike and Dalia Dipolitto. Are you ready?
Yes.
On the morning of August 5th, 2009, The city of Boynton Beach, Florida, looked like it does on most summer mornings in South Florida. The air is already heavy with humidity. The sun bright and unforgiving even in the early hours of the day. Palm trees line the streets, and traffic moves slowly along the coastal roads. People are going about their normal routines. And that morning, 26-year-old Dalia Dipolitto had started her day at the gym. If you picture a typical South Florida look, she fits right into the scene. Long dark hair, green eyes, deeply tanned skin, manicured nails. Dalia's hot. And she's like a quintessential South Florida, Miami Beach, Boynton Beach, Palm Beach girl.
She's a Florida baddie.
Yeah. At home, her husband, Mike Dipolitto, was supposed to be resting. He had just recently had liposuction on his love handles.
She's at the gym and he's over here getting it sucked out of his love handle.
Yeah. Well, he's a gym dude too. But he didn't like that he couldn't get rid of this stubborn, love handle fat. So he got liposuction. Even though he was a 7-day-a-week gym bro, he had stayed behind at the house while Dalia went to the gym alone that morning. But while she was finishing her workout, her phone rang. On the other end of the line was the police. The officer told her there had been an incident at her home and asked her to head back there immediately. They didn't give her many details, only that officers were on the scene and they needed to speak with her. So she left the gym right away and drove straight home. When she turned onto her street, she saw cop cars everywhere. Several patrol cars were parked outside the house, and their lights were flashing. Yellow crime scene tape had been stretched across the property, and officers were moving around the driveway and yard as if they were actively working an investigation. Neighbors had started gathering outside, watching from their lawns and sidewalks, the way people do when something serious happens in a otherwise quiet neighborhood. For anyone pulling up to the scene like that, the message is immediately and unmistakably clear. Something terrible has happened here.
Mm-hmm.
When Dalia got out of the car, an officer approached her and pulled her to the side. They spoke with her just a few feet away from the crime scene tape. And right there on the street in front of her own home, they told her there had been a shooting inside the house. They said her husband, Mike, is dead.
Oh, shit.
I'm Sergeant Ramsey. I'm the one that called you. Thank you for coming. I'm sorry to call you. Listen, we had a report of a disturbance at your house, and there were shots fired. Is your husband Michael? Okay, I'm sorry to tell you, ma'am. He's been killed. He's been killed, ma'am. I'm sorry.
No, he's not.
Listen. No. Try to calm down. Listen, right now what we need to get you to the station. We need to get you to our police station. I can't let you see him, man. We have to do our job. If you want us to find his killer, okay, we need you to calm down. I'm going to need you to go with these detectives, okay? Does he have enemies? Is there anyone that would want to hurt him? Okay, who would want to hurt him? Witnesses said they saw a black male running from here. I can't let you see him, ma'am. Ma'am, I cannot do this right now. Ma'am, I can't do it. Detective Yopi, I need you to take her to the station. I can't. Ma'am, go with these detectives. If you want to help your husband, okay? If you want to help your husband, you need to go to the station with these gentlemen and tell us everything you know about who he knows, who he's connected to. Don't worry, we've already taken care of your dogs with animal control for right now. Everything's under control. And we'll take care of everything else, okay? Thank you, guys.
Okay, what's your immediate reaction after hearing that?
That motherfucker tried to make her feel better by saying her dogs are in animal control.
Okay.
What the fuck? You put my dogs in the pound.
Okay.
And my husband's dead. How is that supposed to make me feel better?
You're focused on the dogs in this situation.
I love them too.
I know. Okay.
No, but, the husband's dead too, but
Yeah.
I would feel like I gotta see.
You have to see.
I have to see.
Mm.
I don't want the next time I see him to be like in a morgue.
So you'd want to see him shot on the scene?
I think so.
Just like she did, because she kept saying, I want to see him, I want to see him.
I think so.
Why? Why would you want to see?
Makes it don't feel real.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. Like, you almost don't believe it. It's like, hard to
like,
believe.
no fucking way.
Yeah.
Are they allowed to keep you out of your own house? Like, it's my house.
Well, it's a crime scene, yeah, so they can.
That means they own your house?
Well, at this point, if you love the person who was just murdered, you would be like, okay, I don't want to compromise the crime
But she's
scene.
not saying that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, she's not saying that.
So, like, I want to go to my house. So I guess they're allowed to hold you back.
I guess so.
Well, she could be the killer, too, to them. They don't know.
It's true, yeah, exactly.
So I see.
Well, if you listen to that recording without knowing anything else about the situation, it sounds exactly like what you'd expect in a moment like that. A woman crying uncontrollably after being told that her husband has just been murdered. But the officer standing there watching Dalia that morning knew something that she didn't know. Mike Dipolitto wasn't dead.
What?
In fact, he wasn't even hurt. The crime scene outside the house had been staged by the police. The shooting had never happened. And the reason they were watching her reaction so closely was because investigators believed that Dalia, devastated, visibly distraught Dalia, had tried to hire someone to kill her husband.
Wow.
The hitman that she believed she had hired was actually an undercover cop.
That's why you can't get your hitman off Craigslist.
But to understand how a marriage ends with one person trying to hire a hitman, you have to go back and look at the two people at the center of it.
She didn't like that liposuction in the stomach shit either. She thought it was weird too.
No. And the first person we really need to understand is Mike. Because long before he ever met Dalia, Mike Dipolitto had already lived a life that was complicated, messy, and full of decisions that would eventually catch up with him. Mike grew up in Philadelphia in a rough environment. Both his parents were addicts, so he saw things at a very young age that most people never see. He was described by many people who knew him as a good kid. He was funny, he was respectful. But starting super young, Mike seemed to get in his own way. He started drinking when he was about 10 years old. And by the time he reached high school, he was already doing drugs. Like a lot of teenagers who drift into that world early, the lines between using drugs and dealing them started to blur. Before long, Mike was doing both. At one point, he started dealing cocaine and crack. And like the old saying goes, he eventually started getting high on his own supply.
Broke the commandment.
Yep, there you go. As he got older, that lifestyle eventually led him into something a lot bigger. Mike became involved in a boiler room stock scam. A boiler room operation is essentially a high-pressure sales scheme where brokers aggressively cold call investors and push them to buy worthless or heavy manipulated stocks. And the goal is to pump up the price long enough for the people running the scheme to make a ton of money off of it, and then the stock will crash and it leaves the investors with the losses. Do you remember the movie Boiler Room?
Yeah.
That was a good-ass movie. As soon as I started researching this case, I remembered that movie. I was like, I gotta watch that again. That movie was so good.
I think I watched it twice. It had like that little weird guy. Well, he's not weird, but it's like his voice is like different.
Yeah. I can't remember
He's
his
a good
name.
actor.
He's a good actor, and I can't remember his name.
I'd rather be that way. I'd be rich, and I'm an actor. You don't remember my name, and you might not recognize me. I get to live my life.
Yes, but I would recognize him on the street, and I can't think of his name right now. But it's a really good movie. I want to watch it again. So Mike ended up being convicted in connection with that boiler room operation. He was sentenced to 2 years in prison. But the punishment didn't stop there. When he was released, he was given a lengthy probation sentence that would follow him for decades. He got 28 years of probation.
He didn't even do nothing that bad.
Well, he scammed a lot of people out of a lot of money.
Well, maybe if it's like a lot, but I mean,
28 years of probation is something I don't know if I've ever heard of that long of probation.
You're better off going to jail for a couple extra years than doing 28 years of probation, because eventually they're going to get you on something.
Well, he was given 28 years of probation, and he was ordered to pay restitutions to his victims of the fraud, and that totaled $290,000.
So he got 28 years of probation for $290,000.
Yes.
That seems a bit harsh.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? He only did 2 years in prison, though. So by the time Mike eventually relocated to South Florida, he was already a man trying to rebuild after a series of really bad decisions. He had a criminal record, a massive restitution bill that was hanging over his head, and a past that he couldn't entirely outrun. During this period of Mike's life, he wasn't completely alone either. He had been married to a woman named Maria, and she stood by him through the most difficult years of his life.
She reminded him of a West Side Story.
She did, yeah. So she stood by him while he was in prison.
That was his ride or die.
She was waiting for him to get out, and she really did stick by his side. She was very loyal.
Do you remember that Maria song? That was I don't know if it was where you were, but that was the song of the summer. It was everywhere.
Yeah, it was.
Everywhere.
Yeah, it definitely was everywhere. When Mike was finally released, he seemed determined not to fall back into the same patterns that had landed him there in the first place. One of the ways he tried to keep himself disciplined was becoming almost obsessive about his routine. According to people who knew him, he spent a lot of time in the gym. It became a daily ritual for him, something that helped keep him focused and gave him structure.
That's good. The gym and working out really does help people like that, and it does make you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
It releases those endorphins.
And he had really big issues with addiction prior to going to prison, and this was a way for him to stay clean because he just focused so hard on his health and on his gym routine and building good habits.
People always seem to that have had addiction transfer their addiction to something else, and then when it's to something good, that's cool. That's even better because now you're addicted to something. I mean, it's not addictive like if you stop, you'll die, but, you're addicted as far as you need it every day to feel good.
Yeah. So for people who are trying to stay away from drugs or destructive habits, that kind of routine can be incredibly important. It keeps your mind occupied and gives you a sense of control over your life again. The people who knew him well describe him in a way that might surprise you. Despite his fraud convictions and the addiction and the rough edges of his past, Mike was known for having a very big, friendly, and sweet personality. Very Italian-American in all the stereotypical senses.
I was just going to ask you, was he Italian? Because I felt like you were describing one.
Yes, but he wasn't annoying. Mike is a Guido, a stereotypical GTL guy.
Probably slicks his hair back.
Yeah, they're a dime a dozen in the Bronx, okay? He's one of those. We know many of them.
Mm-hmm. Friends with many of them.
They are the kind of they have that Jersey Shore energy.
No, don't you play them. Jersey Shore is over-the-top clowns.
Okay, true. They are over-the-top clowns. You're right. Mike is not a clown. He's just a Guido.
Yeah, Guidos aren't like that. Those are like over-the-top, look at me, like...
Yeah.
Those people are circus acts.
Yeah, they're a bit much.
But I do like Paulie D. He seems pretty funny.
And Vinny. I liked Vinny. Vinny is probably the most regular out of all of them, I feel like.
Yeah, so I just think Paulie D is funny.
Yeah. So underneath that personality, though, many people also described him as someone who was soft-hearted. He liked having people around him. He liked taking care of people he cared about. And sometimes that combination, a big personality mixed with a trusting nature, can make someone vulnerable to the wrong kind of person entering their life. And that's exactly what was about to happen. Not long after Mike began settling into his new life in South Florida, he met someone who would change the direction of his life in ways he never could have imagined. Her name was Dalia. Dalia was born in New York.
Black Dahlia.
Yeah, for real. Dalia was born in New York in 1982. Her father is Egyptian and her mother is Persian. And like many immigrant families, they came to the United States looking for opportunity and stability. But Dalia's early home life was not very stable. Her father was incredibly abusive, and eventually he left the family. His absence had a lasting effect on Dalia. She had a lot of daddy issues. And people who later studied her life often point to those early experiences as something that shaped her relationships with men later on. After her father left, Dalia's mother worked extremely hard to support the family by herself. She placed a strong emphasis on education and did what she could to give her daughter opportunities that many people were struggling to afford. At one point, she put Dalia in private school, and she worked multiple jobs to pay for it.
Mm-hmm. Private schools ain't cheap.
They're not cheap, especially in New York. As Dalia got older, she eventually moved to South Florida when she was about 18 years old. And like many young people who relocate to that type of beach nightlife world, the lifestyle drew her in. The beaches, the social scene, the nightlife. A place where appearances and image carry a lot of weight. Dalia got her real estate license, but she didn't really like the hustle. She wanted to be handed nice things. So she began working as an escort.
Ooh.
Offering what is often referred to as the girlfriend experience.
AKA that ass.
Where the arrangement was meant to feel less transactional and more like a relationship.
Damn, so they had to buy her dinner and pay her.
Yes. So the girlfriend experience is like higher end escorts do this. And they can give you the experience of having a girlfriend.
Are they going to nag you?
No, see, you don't have all that.
Only the good parts.
You only have the good parts of having a girlfriend.
Hey.
It's like a sugar baby, sugar daddy situation.
Yeah.
You know? So that's what she did for a long time. She offered the girlfriend experience as an escort. In that world, companionship, attention, and intimacy are packaged together as a service being offered. She was a sugar baby, and she was good at it, raking in thousands of dollars. At one point, she also opened a massage parlor.
Oh.
And she started working as a madam.
Oh, she's a pimp now.
Yeah, so she kind of became a pimp. And over time, Dalia developed a pattern that would become really important later in the story. She was really good at building relationships with men in ways that would benefit her financially. Gifts, money, support, or opportunities sometimes became a way for her to gain access to the lifestyle that she wanted. And it was within that environment that she crossed paths with Mike. Because Mike actually found Dalia through a website called Seeking Arrangement, a site designed to connect financially established men with younger women who are looking for a mutually beneficial relationship.
That's crazy. I wonder if it's the other way around too for older ladies and younger men.
Maybe, yeah. At the time, Mike was still married to his wife, Maria, the one who held him down.
As most of the men on this website will be.
Yeah, but it sucks for Maria. She held him down. She was there when he was nothing. She was there when he was in prison.
Yep. That's his ride or die.
And it was, but their relationship had already begun falling apart. One of the nights, he first reached out to Dalia.
He probably was like, hey, what do you think if I lipo like my stomach just a little? And she was like, get the fuck out of here.
That's the downfall of their relationship.
That speech was like fucking pussy. Goes to the gym every day. He wants to lipo his belly button or some shit.
So one of the nights he first reached out to Dalia happened while Maria was out of town. And what happened next moved incredibly fast. The two of them met, and the sexual chemistry between them was crazy.
Of course, she's a professional. She's good at it. That's her job.
In fact, After this first time, she even told him he didn't have to pay her, which immediately set their relationship apart from the typical arrangement that you find on that website. So now the two of them start a full-blown affair. So, I mean, they had chemistry because she said, you don't even got to pay me, bro. I'll be over here for free.
Wow.
Yeah. So both of them knew how to hold each other down.
Good for him for laying it down.
But they had a full-blown affair. And while the attraction between them was very real, it's also clear in hindsight that Dalia had a pattern of looking at relationships strategically. Because Mike had money. Now, he was paying back the $290,000 in installments, but he had a lot more money somewhere. No one knows where he got his money from.
Probably those days, they didn't catch everything if it was a shady business.
Exactly. And Mike was known to be involved in some organized crime. He's from Philly.
Allegedly.
He's Italian-American. He's allegedly.
Allegedly. I'm not even co-signing that.
He is allegedly connected. Okay?
But if they can't say how, it's only alleged.
So Mike had money.
Is that even a word?
So Mike had money, and she knew it. He was also very generous. He enjoyed taking care of people.
That's an Italian thing.
100%. He liked being that guy.
Yep.
In many ways, he was exactly the type of man Dalia wanted to gravitate towards. The relationship escalated quickly.
She was his gumad.
She was, yeah. Within just 4 months, Mike divorced his wife, Maria, and the two of them got married. But even during those early months of dating, there were already red flags that the relationship was way more volatile than it appeared on the surface. One moment that stood out happened during a trip to Las Vegas. So Mike is on probation, right? And he has this fraud conviction, and he's not supposed to leave the state of Florida. But he had allowances for if it was a work trip. So somehow he got paperwork. I don't know how, but he got paperwork claiming that he had a work trip in Las Vegas. I
used to have an Italian guy that used to have a guy for everything.
There you go.
But if he ever listens to this, you ain't got shit no more, bro. Fuck happened to all your connections?
So he planned this trip, this work trip, and brought Dalia with him. But it was really a trip for the two of them that he had planned. And he did it for her birthday. He was being really sweet. At first, the trip seemed like it would be a fun getaway. He planned, all these clubs they would go to. He had reservations at these really high-end restaurants that are hard to get into because, of course, he's got a guy. So he was able to get into these exclusive places.
Well, let me ask you this. Is she way more attractive than him?
At the time, no. They were both pretty attractive. I mean, I would say she is more attractive, than him.
But
he's not
crazy.
Ugly. Yeah. He's not like an ugly dude at all. I could show you pictures of him in a second.
Okay, because I was thinking maybe that's why he's not used to having a pretty girl that he's going all out.
No.
Some corny dudes act like that.
No, he could get girls.
You should always treat your lady right, but don't let a gold digger take advantage of you.
And she's the definition of a gold digger.
Yeah, I just don't get taken advantage of.
Exactly. So, no.
Treat the right girl the right way.
He could get girls.
Bars. Put that in a fortune cookie.
So profound.
Yep. Don't treat the wrong girl the right way.
So at first, the trip seemed like it would be a fun getaway. And Las Vegas is the type of place built for excitement, right? Casinos, nightlife everywhere you look. But one morning during the trip, Mike went to the gym without Dalia. He woke up earlier than her.
GTO.
And what followed was the first time he saw a side of her that he didn't fully experience yet. Dalia became furious that he'd gone without her. And what started as irritation escalated to a full-blown tantrum. The argument grew so intense that it ruined the entire trip, all because he got up earlier than her and went to the gym without her. But she reminds me so much of the movie Willy Wonka, she reminds me of Veruca Salt.
Oh, I want it now.
I want a golden egg and I want it now.
Oh, I hated her as a
Yes.
child.
Dalia is Veruca Salt. Okay, the real life Veruca Salt. Everyone that talks about her, that knows her, says that she is a brat and she throws giant temper tantrums.
But if you just don't pay attention to the temper tantrum. Like if a kid throws a temper tantrum, a kid will not throw a temper tantrum in a room by itself.
That's true.
You walk out the room, there's no temper tantrum no more. Like if a tree falls in the woods, does it make a sound? I don't know.
True. These days, I'm all about quality over quantity, especially in my closet. If it's not well made and versatile, it's just not worth it to me. That's honestly why I love Quince. The fabrics feel elevated. The cuts are thoughtful. The pricing actually makes sense. Quince makes high-quality wardrobe staples using premium fabrics like 100% linen, 100% silk, and organic cotton poplin. Their lightweight cotton cashmere sweaters are perfect for the changing of the seasons. We don't even know what temperature it's going to be tomorrow. It might be 70, it might be 20. I wore one to an event the other day. It was warm when I left the house and freezing at night, and it was so versatile. They are also just incredibly soft and comfy. I love it. These sweaters are breathable and lightweight, and they're perfect for this time of year. Quince works directly with safe, ethical factories to cut out the middlemen. So you're not paying for brand markups or fancy retail stores, just quality clothing. So stop waiting and build a better wardrobe with Quince. Right now, go to quince.com/wifeofcrime for free shipping and 365-day returns. That's a full year to wear it and love it. And you will. Now available in Canada too. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/wifeofcrime for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/wifeofcrime. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. In March, we celebrate International Women's Day. It's a time to recognize the strength that women show at work, in relationships, and in their families. Since the beginning of time, women are usually the ones holding it together, managing the to-do lists, creating the household routines, making sure that everybody in the family is okay. And if you are that woman, you need to take a little time for you. Therapy can be a powerful way to create balance, set healthy boundaries, and focus on your own well-being. BetterHelp has over 30,000 licensed therapists who follow a strict code of conduct. After filling out a quick questionnaire, they'll match you with a therapist, and you can change therapists at any time. Your emotional well-being matters. Find support and feel lighter in therapy. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/wifeofcrime1. That's betterhelp.com/wifeofcrime1 for 10% off. So when they returned to Florida, Mike had serious doubts about the relationship now. That whole experience shook him enough that he was ready to break up with her, because they had only been dating a couple months at this point. But relationships like this often have a way of pulling people back in. The two of them ended up meeting for dinner to talk things through. Emotions calmed down, and the sexual chemistry between them resurfaced. And instead of ending the relationship, the night took a completely different turn, and Mike proposed. I know.
You just know it's not a good idea. That's like...
I know.
Sucker for love.
And then that week, he bought her a $27,000 engagement ring. $27,000.
Maria ain't had one of them.
So after Mike and Dalia were married, the two of them settled into life together in South Florida. And Mike was still dealing with the long-term consequences of his fraud conviction. He had paid down the amount that was owed, about $100,000 of it down. But the remaining balance was still $191,000. So Dalia told Mike she wanted to help him resolve that debt. She came to him with what sounded like a great plan. If Mike could come up with $100,000, she said she would take care of the remaining $91,000.
What?
So that the restitution could finally be paid off and that chapter of his life would be closed.
Or is she going to say, give me the $100,000 now, I'll go pay it, and then dip out with his 100?
Well, for someone in Mike's position, that would have been a huge relief. Carrying that type of debt, that's huge. So the idea that it could be settled much sooner was something he really wanted to believe. So Mike went to the bank, he got out $100,000, and he gave it to Dalia. And the money was supposed to be wired through Dalia's bank, so the full payment could be sent. But the lawyers handling the restitution never received the wire transfer. At first, Dalia tried to explain it to Mike because Mike was starting to get freaked out now. Like, okay, Dalia, why hasn't the wire gone through? You know, it only takes minutes for a wire to go through. It's like sometimes it'll take a couple hours. Like, it's not that long of a time. But days were going by. And she kept giving different reasons for the delay. And she reassured Mike that everything would be taken care of. It's fine.
Why'd she even go back to him after taking the money?
They're living together. What are you talking about? They're married.
Yeah, but she stole his money.
But they're married. He doesn't know she stole anything.
But it's gone.
But eventually, the truth comes out. She told Mike that she had been scammed and that all of their money, including hers, was gone. Dalia was emotional. She was crying, and she explained through tears what had happened.
Nah, this girl's a pro. She's in it for the long con, man.
She trusted the wrong person, and she lost all the money in the process. And Mike believed her. Despite everything that had happened in his past, Mike was someone who tended to trust people that he loved. Instead of reacting with anger, he forgave her. And he said, okay, Dalia, we'll figure this out.
He said, forget about it.
Yeah, exactly. He said, forget about it, Dalia. We'll figure this out. He accepted the explanation and he continued moving forward with their marriage. But the financial problems didn't completely end there. Investigators would later discover that Dalia had also been taking money from Mike in other ways. There were credit card charges and bank transfers that Mike had not authorized. And over time, those transactions added up. In total, Dalia would eventually steal $240,000 from Mike.
Damn. He's a sucker because you would have started noticing all that money going missing.
Well, he has a lot of money, like I said, and he has money in multiple places.
Oh, so she's like...
And so I don't know if he really noticed any of it. He also loves Dalia. He really does love her. And he doesn't want to believe that she's doing anything bad to him. I mean, he's in love with her.
Well...
Another interesting thing is that Mike had a couple serious bouts of food poisoning. One time, she brought home a Starbucks coffee, his favorite Frappuccino.
Mocha Fropa Latte.
And she brought him Starbucks Frappuccinos all the time. He said immediately it tasted horrible. And he spit it out. He was like, oh, the milk must be old. Something must be wrong with this. He spit it out, but he got very sick and was sick for a couple days.
He would be drinking all these Frappuccinos, this liposuction dude.
And eventually he felt better, but...
He reminds me of that show we're watching with the plastic surgery where they explode.
Oh, Beauty. Yeah. So eventually Mike felt better, but it's really... To him, he felt it was really interesting that he had a couple bouts of food poisoning in a very short period of time. Like, people don't get food poisoning that often. But I think he had 2 to 3 instances where food made him sick, and he got very sick, and it was only over like a month span of time.
So, yeah, she's manipulating food.
At the same time, there was another person in Dalia's life who would eventually play a major role in what would happen. His name was Mohammed Shahade. Mohammed had known Dalia for years. Their relationship was kind of complicated. They were like friends with benefits.
He probably paid for it a while, and then eventually he had the rewards membership, so you get a certain amount of rewards points, you get some for free.
Well, Mohammed was in an arranged marriage, okay? And he could not openly pursue anything serious with Dalia. He also would eventually tell cops that even though he was in an arranged marriage, he didn't want to have anything more to do with Dalia than a sexual relationship because Dalia is, quote, incredibly annoying, which is really funny.
Well, men put up with a lot for sex.
Yeah, so I think we should name this episode The Power of the Poon. Because it really is. Like, this girl had so much power over men around her. So Muhammad was somewhat of a seedy character who moved in similar social circles as Dalia. He was not someone who wanted attention or legal trouble. He had no desire to have his name connected to anything criminal, but he was involved in some scammy shit, and he popped a lot of pills. Over time, Dalia began talking to Muhammad about the problems she was having in her marriage. At first, those conversations sounded like venting, like the kind of venting people do when they're frustrated with their partner. But then she told Muhammad that Mike was incredibly abusive. And Muhammad, knowing who Mike was like, huh? That guy? Huh? That doesn't even make sense. It didn't add up to him. And eventually, the tone of the conversations started to shift in a direction that made Muhammad really uncomfortable. She started asking Muhammad if he knew any hitmen.
Whoa.
Yeah. Anyone that would kill Mike for her. He said no, but she kept pushing the issue. She started trying to bribe him to help her. She even bought Muhammad a $30,000 used Range Rover.
What?
But he kept saying no.
Why did she insist?
But he took the Range Rover and drove it.
Yeah, fuck it. Why not?
Yeah.
But why does she think he would know this?
Because he's involved in some seedy shit, like I said.
Oh, all right.
And he hung out with some rough people. So he still took the Range Rover. He was happy to take that.
Why wouldn't you?
But he didn't give her any connections.
Dang, you know how many times she had to work for that?
Yeah, she did.
That's a lot of people. And well, she's a high-end one, too. So.
Yeah, she's making thousands. So then something happened that truly alarmed him. One day, Dalia took the gun from Muhammad's car without telling him. So he had a gun in his car because he had a license to carry.
Mm-hmm.
So this was registered in his name. And she stole the gun out of his car. And he caught her with it and asked her, what the hell is she doing? She said, I need it. I need to go take care of Mike. I need to be done with him once and for all.
She wasn't kidding.
He said, why don't you just get a divorce? Like, this is crazy. And in that moment, it appeared to be like a turning point for Muhammad. Whatever he had previously thought about the situation, the fact that she had taken his registered gun to go and murder her husband, it felt much more serious. Now he's like, all right, so she's not just talking shit. She is actually going to do something. And if I don't tell the cops, my name is going to be connected to this.
Now, let me ask you this, though. So if he doesn't tell the cops
Mm-hmm.
and she kills him,
Mm-hmm.
will he get in trouble if he's like, I don't know what the fuck happened. I stopped talking to her. I'm on my business.
Knowing Dalia, she's so manipulative, she could probably get him involved somehow and claim that they planned it together or claimed that he knew about it. You don't know what she could do because she's so manipulative and she lies about everything.
Chris Brown was right, bro.
What?
These hoes ain't loyal.
So that's when Muhammad decided he didn't want to be anywhere near whatever was about to happen. He didn't want his name involved. So he decided to save his own neck.
Protect your neck.
And Mike's, okay? He went to the police. When Muhammad went to the police, he told them something that immediately caught their attention. According to him, Dalia had been talking about wanting her husband dead. Now, when law enforcement hears something like that, they have to make a decision pretty quickly. Sometimes people say extreme things out of anger
True.
that they never actually intend to act on. But in other situations, those conversations are the early stages of something serious. Investigators didn't want to take the risk of ignoring it, so they put a wire on Muhammad and had him go and talk to her about it. Now, something really funny. It's so stupid.
I wouldn't do that.
It's really funny and it's really stupid. When they were putting the wire on him, he said, make sure that the wire doesn't go in my underpants. And they were like, what? And,
Because they might get it on.
and he said, because every time I see Dalia, she always gives me a blowjob.
Ah!
I mean, that's quite a greeting.
It is. How you doing?
Yeah, like, hey, how you doing? All right. Anyway, it's so ridiculous. So they set up the sting operation. They wired up Muhammad and they, recorded her and Muhammad talking about this. And Muhammad claimed that he knew a hitman that he could get her in contact with. So using Muhammad as the middleman, Dalia was introduced to a man that she believed was a hitman. But in reality, he was an undercover officer working with the Boynton Beach Police Department. And his name was Whitey Jean. So before meeting up with Whitey, she gave Muhammad $1,200 to give to him as sort of a down payment. Okay, so now money is being exchanged for this. A few days later, Whitey and Dalia met in a parking lot, and the entire thing was recorded on camera. She told him she wanted Mike dead. And when Whitey asked her if she was sure, she said she was 5,000% sure.
You could only be 100%.
Well, she was 5,000% sure. During the recorded meeting, the two of them discussed how the murder would happen and what it would cost. At one point, the price for the job was discussed at around $7,000.
That's cheap.
Exactly. And so throughout this whole thing, from this point on, you really start to see how dumb she is. I think she's 26 years old at this point, but she's clearly kind of dumb and naive in a sense of like the things.
I mean, she's giving BJ greetings to people. She's not the sharpest tack in the bunch.
True. But,
like she shakes hands with her mouth.
You start to you start to see that she is kind of dumb. Like $7,000 to murder somebody, get real.
Well, I don't know what it cost either. I just assumed it would be more than that.
Well, I'm going to play you the recording of the two of them talking about this in the car.
At the house, like how soon could you do it?
I could do it Wednesday morning. It gets 2 in the head. That's it. I take a couple things with me, break a couple windows, make it look like the robbery that went bad. It's all over. I'm done out of there.
I'm a lot tougher than what I look. I know you're like, oh, what a cute little girl, whatever. But I'm not.
You are. You're extremely beautiful.
Thank you, but I just need to make sure everything's going to get taken care of.
Okay, so you just had surgery?
His back right here.
Back, all right. Okay. So you're not going to be able to move that.
He won't be able to, he walks fine and everything like that, but it's going to be like a little bit of a struggle.
Now, and when it's done, you have to have an option to change your mind. Even if you change your mind, you're not talking to him.
There's no changing, there's no, I'm determined
already.
I'm positive, 5,000% sure.
By the time you get back from the gym, you're going to find 2 things. A dead body in the house, all right, or nothing.
I'll go to Boca or I'll go somewhere else.
You like an alibi to be somewhere.
Right,
they can verify when it happened.
Yeah, I'll go get my hair done or something, or I'll be somewhere, but I mean to go out of town, I never go anywhere. Right away, everyone's going to be like, oh, what a coincidence. You never go anywhere, and the day you leave, it happens.
So, okay, after he kills him, whatever, your mom and all of them are not going to, his mom is not going to get suspicious of you or anything like that?
Why me? Do you know what
Didn't you say
somebody is? Yeah, but killing somebody, come on. I mean, that's, nobody's going to be able to point a finger at me. I'm going to tell him, these guys went in, he's been bumping into guys. I'm going to tell him about the guy at Target that we ran into, the weird guy that lives in our neighborhood, too, that's on probation for something else. I'm going to throw all their names in it. I don't care.
For investigators, that meeting was critical evidence. Because in cases like this, the law isn't just concerned of whether the murder actually takes place. The act of soliciting someone to commit murder, paying someone to do it, is in itself a serious crime. But there's one more step investigators wanted to take before making an arrest.
They wanted to see when you meet her if it was actually true.
Imagine. Oh, God.
I'm just thinking this is turning into a South Park episode in my mind.
They decided to bring Mike into the plan and really make this thing into a full-blown drama.
That's wild that they brought him into it.
Early that morning, shortly after Dalia had left the house to go to the gym, Mike was still inside, recovering from his surgery. It was supposed to be a quiet morning, but instead, his front door suddenly erupted with loud bangs as the police officers from Boynton Beach Police Department announced themselves. Mike immediately was startled and was like, oh my God, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble again. Because over the last couple weeks, there have been multiple interactions with police because they have been getting anonymous tips that Mike had drugs on him.
Oh.
So over the last few weeks prior to this,
Now she's just trolling him.
They pulled him over on 3 separate occasions and searched his vehicle, claiming that they got anonymous tips that he had drugs in his vehicle.
And she knows there is no drugs, so she's just fucking with him.
So after police searched the car the first time, Mike went to get gas, screwed off his gas tank cap, and there were pills and cocaine in a bag in the gas tank cap.
She's really doing anything to get rid of him.
Yes. But the police didn't find it that time. Another time they searched the car, they didn't find anything. And then the third time they searched Mike's car, they found coke under his spare tire in the trunk.
This bitch is insane.
And Mike told police, he started bawling his eyes out, crying, because he knew he didn't put it there and he didn't want to go back to prison. This was going to violate his probation. So he started crying and told the police officers, I've been clean for 7 years. I do not have drugs on me.
Oh, no.
I am not selling drugs. It was like a really small bag of coke too. So it was clear that he wasn't selling this. This would have been for him to do it. And he told the cops, I'll take a drug test. I'll do anything. You can test me every week if you need to, but I don't want to go back to prison and I've really turned my life around. And the cops actually believed him.
Oh.
And they let him go.
Good thing they did, man, because I don't know, they had good intuition, right?
Yeah. So now
I'm glad they were right, and I'm glad they let him go.
Me too.
They probably said just like he did. Forget about it.
Maybe. So now cops are banging on his front door and they're announcing, police department, open up, and he's freaking out.
Yeah, they think you violated your probation or some shit.
So when Mike opened the door, he was met with a group of officers who quickly explained that they needed to speak with him and it's about something serious. So imagine being half awake, still healing from your surgery. Why are you laughing?
It's liposurgery.
Still healing from your surgery. And suddenly a group of officers are standing in your doorway telling you that they need to see you now and they need to take you to the station and it's really serious. And they tell him, you're not in trouble, but you're actually in danger and we need to take you to the station. So eventually, cops got him to the station and they told him the entire situation. The officers showed him the footage of his wife, Dalia, talking to what she thought was a hitman. Watching that video had to be surreal. The woman he married only a few months earlier, sitting in a car, calmly discussing the logistics of his murder.
And she already got his money?
And yet, despite the shock of all of it, Mike agreed to help police finish this operation. Now, here's where the story takes an even bigger turn.
No, there's another one?
Yes. And it feels like something out of a movie. The same week, the television show Cops happened to be filming with the Boynton Beach Police Department.
No way.
The producers were riding along with officers, capturing the usual, patrol footage and traffic stops and disturbances.
They just always drive around looking for people with their shirt off, and then they go up to them. Everyone always has their fucking shirt off.
But suddenly, the department found itself in the middle of a murder-for-hire sting operation. And this was about to be its final act.
What?
So needless to say, it made for incredible television. With Mike safely out of the house, the police staged the crime scene. Patrol cars pulled up, lights are flashing, crime scene tape went across the front of the property. Officers moved around the yard like they were working an active homicide investigation. And neighbors started to gather outside, trying to figure out what had happened on their quiet street.
I can just imagine how bad the cops were at acting.
Right?
Let me pretend I'm doing this.
And then they called Dalia and told her to come home. When she pulled up and saw all the lights flashing and the police cars and the yellow tape, Officers met her on the street and began explaining what had happened inside the house. And then that's when we heard the footage of her Academy Award-winning performance. So watching that footage again, now you see it in a whole different light.
Yeah, she's a good actress.
Yeah.
Not bad.
So after Dalia's dramatic reaction on the street, officers told her they needed to bring her down to the police station so they could ask a few more questions about what happened. At that point, as far as she knew, her husband had just been murdered, and the police were trying to figure out who might be responsible. When she got to the station, detectives sat her down in one of the interview rooms and continued the story they had already started outside the house. They spoke calmly, asking her questions about Mike and their relationship. They wanted to know if Mike had any enemies, if there was anyone who'd want to hurt him, if there's anything in his past that could have led to something like this. From Dalia's perspective, this probably felt like a normal police interview following a homicide. Detectives often ask those types of questions in the early stages of an investigation, trying to build a picture of the victim's life and identify possible suspects. But what Dalia didn't realize is that the detectives already knew exactly what had happened, and after letting the conversation continue for a little while, they introduced a new piece of information.
Uh-oh.
And this is something that would never normally happen in a real homicide investigation. They told her that the officers had detained a man who had been seen running from the house. According to the story that they told her, this man was black and had been caught nearby and is now in custody. So they bring him in cuffs into the room.
It's a fake. It's not, he's playing along.
Yeah, he's the undercover cop.
Yeah.
They bring him in cuffs, and they said, "Do you know this man?" And it was Whitey Jean. And later in interviews, Whitey says that he couldn't even look at her because he was about to burst out laughing because the cops were like really playing it up at this point. And she's crying and saying, "No, I don't know him. I don't know him." And at that moment, they were all watching very closely to what she would say next. At first, Dalia stuck to the same position that she had maintained from the beginning. She denied knowing anything about the situation, and she insisted that she had no idea who the man was standing in front of her. And then the cop says, "You know what? Let's cut the shit. Okay? We know that you know this guy, and we know exactly what's happening." At first, Dalia stuck to the same position she maintained from the beginning. She denied knowing anything about the situation. She insisted she had no idea who this man was. But the detectives continued pressing her. They told her that they had been investigating this whole situation for weeks. They mentioned the meetings that had taken place. They told her the conversations had been recorded. And still, Dalia denied everything.
She was doing the shaggy.
They told her there's not been a murder. Mike wasn't dead. He's very much alive. And they opened the door to the interview room.
No.
And Mike was sitting in the chair.
Oh my God, these guys are the best.
Mike was sitting in the chair across from the interview room.
Oh my.
Imagine being in that chair and suddenly seeing the person you believed had been killed. And he's right there.
And you know the entire precinct is watching this
Yes.
now. And if this was on live TV, oh my God, the ratings would be through the roof.
Yeah. They were playing that shit up.
They thought they were in Goodfellas.
Yeah, they did.
Like, they were going for it.
Yeah, they really, really did. And she just kept denying everything. So the detectives placed her under arrest for solicitation to commit first-degree murder, and she was taken to jail. But the story didn't end there. From jail, Dalia called Mike.
Wow.
In the phone call, she insisted that everything the police were accusing her of was not true. That it's all a misunderstanding.
Oh my goodness.
She told him none of it is true. And she would never do this to him.
Hello? Hey, it's me. Yeah, what's up? Nothing, Mike. Can you please come here? Hey, listen, I don't want to fight with you. Honestly. I can't help you. Don't you understand what just happened? What they're saying is not true. How is that possible? Like, I'm sitting here. It's not true. It's not possible. You wouldn't even give me 2 minutes to talk to you, but it's not possible. What they're saying is not true. How in the hell did I hear it and see it? Like, I heard what you heard. It's not true. I heard what you heard and I saw what you saw. Everything they showed you, they showed me. And how is it not? How are you telling me that? I am giving you my word that it's not true. What do you? Dalia, I couldn't help you if I wanted to. Like, please, I need an attorney. Can you please help me? It's not true. I heard, Dalia, too. Like, how do you explain what I saw and heard? Like, I am limited on my phone call. You know more than anybody. It's not true. Just give me time so I can talk to you. What did it say? I saw it. I heard it. I saw what you saw and I heard what you heard. Okay, what the f***? You said you wanted to have me killed. I heard that. It's not true. That is not true. How is it not true? How can you believe that? I heard your voice. How can you believe it? That isn't the point. I heard you say it. It's not. I heard what you heard and it's not. What did I hear then? I heard you say. I heard the tape. Okay, I heard the tape and I saw pictures and I saw the whole 9 yards. I saw all of it. I'm sitting here on the phone. I will tell you when I see you in person. Please. I can't come there anyway. I'm not allowed there. That's not true. Who said that? They tell you that on purpose. That's not true. I don't know what you could tell me. Even if, let's pretend, I said, oh, it's all better. I can't, they're charging your ass. Don't you get it? Like, I didn't do anything. Please. I don't know what to say to you. I can't help you. What do you mean? It's out of my hands. You're not even trying. What am I supposed to do? You're supposed to get me an attorney, please, so I can talk to you. So why would you meet a guy in the parking lot and hand him $1,200 and say, yes, I want him dead? I didn't give anybody $1,200. Period. Where they got that from, I have no idea. I never gave anybody money. I never paid anybody money. I never anything. Nothing of nothing of nothing, and you have my word. Nothing. I saw you with this guy in the truck or whatever the f*** it was. I saw it. I heard your voice clearly. They're charging your ass. Like, it doesn't matter, period. It doesn't matter. You can hire 5 lawyers. They're charging your ass to have your voice, your face, everything on tape. You're in a lot of trouble. I'm trying to help you. Are you trying to help me? How? Because I'm trying to get your head, get off the bullshit, and understand what's going on here. What bullshit would that be? There's nothing I can do to help you. You know? Know what I'll do? You know what I'll do for you? Seriously? What? You sign my house back over to me. I'll help you, Mom, immensely. Give me my house back. That's it, what? I'll help you. So I don't have to go through the legal bullshit I have to go through already. What does that mean? It means sign my property back to me that you stole, basically. That's what you're thinking, and I didn't steal anything. All right, so listen. I'll have the papers sent over to you somehow. You'll sign them over to me, and then I will help your mother. Okay? I'm not signing anything. I can't fix it. I just offered to help you, and again, you have the balls to say no to me. Okay, then I can't help you. How do I believe you're going to help me if I do that? Because you know why? Because I'm the one person on the phone that's ever done what they said they were going to do. Me.
Crazy.
The balls she had. Well, you know.
The audacity of this bitch.
She asked him to get her a lawyer.
She asked him to help her. And then he literally says, sign the house back over to me that you stole, and I'll help your mother immensely. And honestly, I feel like, okay, Mike has done some bad things, but from everything I've seen, all the interviews and everything, I believe him. I believe he would have helped her mother. I believe that he really is a decent dude inside.
All he got is his word and his balls.
And is really nice sculpted.
Mike's not. He's chubby now. All that for nothing. I saw a picture.
Oh,
what a waste of money. He probably has 2 indents in his fucking...
where the fat don't come back.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think the audacity of this bitch. She is like Casey Anthony level, triples down on her lies.
But she had nothing to lose. You might as well just go for the Hail Mary. I get, like, I'm not condoning what she's doing, but if I'm her, I'm like, fuck it.
I'll
like,
just keep lying and saying I had nothing to do with this, even though I'm recorded. And
yeah,
like,
at this point, I'm just going to say something. I'm going to try.
Oh, God. So what followed next would turn the Dalia Dipolitto story into a legal saga that lasted nearly a decade. Once Dalia was charged with solicitation to commit first-degree murder, the case moved into the court system. And on paper, it looked like prosecutors have a rock-solid case, super strong case. They had video of her meeting with an undercover officer posing as a hitman. They have audio recordings of conversations discussing the murder with Muhammad. They have money exchanged with Muhammad as a down payment for the hitman. They had testimony from Muhammad, who was the first one to go to police. But almost immediately, the case ran into an unexpected complication because the footage from the investigation obviously didn't stay inside the courtroom. It was on cops. So the dramatic footage of the staged crime scene, the police investigation, and Dalia's emotional reaction was broadcast all over the country and maybe the world. I don't know if other people in the world watch Cops, but it was everywhere. From a television perspective, it made incredible TV. From a legal perspective, it created a real problem. Defense attorneys argued that releasing that footage to the public influenced potential jurors, and it'll make it very difficult for Dalia to have a fair trial. The video had essentially turned the case into a national spectacle before the courtroom process had even played out. But despite that controversy, the first trial began in 2011. During the trial, prosecutors presented the undercover recordings and argued that Dalia had clearly and intentionally tried to hire someone to kill her husband, Mike. The defense tried to frame the situation very differently. They said that Dalia had never intended for Mike to be killed, but that the conversations in the video were a result of manipulation to make really good TV. According to their argument, she had just been venting about her marriage, and that the situation just escalated beyond her control, but she didn't actually want that. The jury didn't buy it. And in 2011, Dalia Dipolitto was found guilty and sentenced to prison. But the case wasn't over. Her attorneys immediately appealed the conviction, arguing that the televised footage compromised the trial. In 2014, an appellate court agreed that there had been issues because of that, and they overturned the conviction, ordering a new trial. So the entire process started again. A second trial took place in 2016, and once again, the same evidence was presented by the prosecutors. But the defense changed their tactic.
Ooh.
And they actually claimed that this was all conjured up as a plan by Dalia and Mike in order to get on reality TV.
Oh, shit. They are swinging for the fences.
This is their real defense. They claim that Mike was in on it the entire time because he wanted to be a reality TV star.
Wow. He was 5,000% in on this. And everyone knows that that's real.
It's just so funny to me that of all, like...
Don't you have to have him agree with that?
Also, Cops is not the reality TV show that you're trying to get on. Like, when people want to go on reality TV, they go on things like Survivor, Flavor of Love, like all that shit. They don't go on Cops.
What reality show would you go on?
Oh, gosh. I would probably... I'd probably go on Amazing Race.
Yeah, before I got all fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
I think we would have won Amazing Race.
We would have made really good TV on Amazing Race.
Well, maybe we could do it now, and now it would be really interesting.
That would be interesting.
They got to give us a head start.
They would. We'd have to get a head start.
At least a wheel's length.
So this is the actual...
I think I'd still win that motherfucker.
There you go. So this is the actual defense that they presented. But it actually worked.
No way.
Because the jury couldn't reach a unanimous decision. After several days of deliberation, they were deadlocked. And the court declared a mistrial, which means that the case either needed to be dismissed or tried again.
It's going to get tried again.
Dalia was released from prison.
Oh.
And she was put on house arrest. She moved in with her mother.
She had to take in calls now.
Yeah. Prosecutors decided to try the case one more time. And the third trial took place in 2017, nearly 8 years after the original crime.
Bye. By
that point, the case had already become widely known, largely because of the viral footage of Dalia's reaction when she believed that Mike had been killed. And during the third trial, the jury finally reached a decision. Dalia Dipolitto was found guilty of solicitation to commit first-degree murder. In 2018, she was sentenced to 16 years in prison. Do you feel like that's a long enough sentence?
Yeah, she didn't kill no one.
But she thought she did.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think...
But it's kind of like attempted murder doesn't get as much as murder, you know what I mean?
True, but I still don't think 16 years is enough time. She thought she murdered him. She's a disgusting human being. At the beginning of this story, we talked about narcissism. Not the casual way people throw the word around.
Jess.
But the real thing. The kind of personality that can bend reality, manipulate emotion, and perform whatever reaction the moment seems to require. Because people like that really do exist, obviously.
Yeah.
And if you've ever encountered one, you know the experience. The stories that constantly shift. The tears that appear exactly when they're needed. The way they can make everyone around them question what they just saw with their own eyes. Which brings us back to that morning in Boynton Beach. The flashing lights, the crime scene tape, the neighbors watching. And right in the middle of it, Dalia Dipolitto collapses in dramatic grief after being told her husband was just murdered. But once you know the truth, that moment stops looking like heartbreak. And it looks like exactly what it is. A performance. A performance built on manipulation, entitlement, and the belief that she could control the story right up until the very end. But the cameras were already rolling. The evidence had already been collected. And the role she thought she was playing fell apart the second the truth stepped onto the stage. Because people like this don't just exist in psychology textbooks or crime documentaries. Sometimes they're sitting right across from you at the dinner table. So when the red flags appear, notice them. Listen to them. Your gut often sees the truth long before your heart is ready to. Because sometimes the danger isn't hidden at all. It's just disguised as love. And that's the case of Mike and Dalia Dipolitto.
Damn, they got her.
That was a really good story, right?
That was good.
I'm really happy that
we should
Mike...
call this one 5,000%.
Other podcasts have called it that, so I'm not going to name it that.
But see, this is why I don't really listen to other podcasts, because I don't want to be influenced.
Yeah, other
but every
podcasts
now and then
have named it 5,000%, so I got to think of a better name. When I listen back to our episode...
5,000 degrees.
When I listen back to our episode, I'll find something funny that you said and try to think of a name.
Or we'll call this one Jess, because of the review.
But it really is crazy how, she put on that performance and then lied all the way through it and then denied.
Well, it almost worked. She got one mistrial.
She did get one mistrial because that crazy defense.
She was laying it on thick.
Yeah. But anyway, I wanted to do this case, especially after we did that 3-part Epstein case, because even though this isn't a not me, not today at all, it's still like no one died. So that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
What if like he would have had to been acting on the floor playing dead, and she would have looked and he would have like opened one eye, be like, shit.
Well, if you remember, we covered a case similar to this, Ramon and Lulu Sosa. Years ago, he was the boxing guy who owned a boxing gym.
That's right.
And he posed in the actual pictures.
That's
and
crazy.
They showed her the pictures of him with a bullet in his head. Remember?
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was
I
all
don't
staged.
remember.
You don't remember it?
I don't.
Can you please go back and listen to all of our previous episodes so I can refer back and you know what I'm talking about?
I need some. No, I remember a little bit, but I don't remember all the details.
I even did a TikTok about that one.
I need some ginkgo biloba.
You do, bro. You need some ginkgo biloba.
Hey, man, I got a hit on the head. I'm still the same person.
All right, everyone. Well, have a wonderful week. Check us out on Instagram at Wife of Crime Pod, Facebook at Wife of Crime The Crime Family, and Patreon at Wife of Crime Pod, and ClutchDefenseCo.com for all of our Clutch Defense products. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
All right, folks. Have the week you deserve.